Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of HomeTech. I'm Seth Johnson, and I am joined, as always, by Jason Griffin. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Seth. How are you?
Pretty good. Are you tired of CEDIA yet?
A little bit.
Yeah. It seems like we were only there yesterday, but I can't remember anything that I did there. So I'm glad we have these recordings to go back over.
Yeah, it goes by quick, and there's been a ton of great coverage from a lot of different outlets I've been following. But I am ready to move on and put some of this stuff into practice. But I'm looking forward to recording this show. We do have one more CEDIA special here, and I do think it's going to be a fun one. We purposely saved some of these clips for our Part 2 CEDIA special. We did Part 1 last week, so definitely if you haven't tuned into that one, go back and check it out. For this week, we saved a little bit more of the light stuff. We're going to talk about some of the quirky, fun, sort of unique products that we saw out on the show floor, as well as some of the more DIY-focused offerings. And that's been a big conversation, of course, about this concept of meeting in the middle that you and I have touched on. And so we've got a lot of ground to cover. And I look forward to jumping in. I think it's a good way to wind down our CEDIA coverage. And next week, it'll be back to business as usual.
Yep, definitely. We're back to covering the news beat, I suppose, which is good we have these shows because there really hasn't been too much news. The Roku has some new players out, which I think are cool. We'll have to talk about next week. But
yeah, there's been a couple of stories that I've been bookmarking and look forward to diving into with you. But here we go. Let's jump in. We got a lot of ground to cover here. So let's talk CEDIA. Before we do that, though, I want to quickly thank a patron that we had come on and came on at a high level, and we really appreciate it. Richard Berry of iHummingbird down in Florida. Really, really appreciate the support for the show. Patron is a great platform. If you haven't heard of it before and you're curious about potentially supporting the show, if you find what we do entertaining or informative, we'd encourage you to hop over to HomeTech.fm/support and learn a little bit more about how you could consider becoming a patron and supporter of the show. And again, we want to really thank Richard Berry for coming on and supporting the show, and means a lot. So thanks, Richard.
Yep, definitely. Thank you very much, Richard. We really do appreciate it. If you can't support the show monetarily, we also have a couple links there where you can, shoot us some feedback. Q&A, always good to send questions to us because we definitely will kind of research and do what we can to help answer the question for you. So with that, let's get started on CEDIA Part 2. Yeah, let's do it. Like I said, we're going to start with some of the more quirky or unique products that we saw out on the show floor. And just like we did last week, this episode, I should say, is going to consist mostly of sound bites that Seth and I took out on the show floor, and we were running around with our recorders and getting some interviews out there on the floor, and that was a lot of fun. And so we're going to focus on that, and just the way things lined out here, the way we have our stories segmented. Seth, a lot of these were your clips. These were some of the beats that you were out there covering, and I think that's a lot of fun. We each had a different perspective and agenda going into the show, and I think that'll be reflected in this episode. So I look forward to diving into these with you. The first one that we have is a company called LumaStream, and I was not hugely familiar with them, I have to admit, coming into this. So give us a little bit of context and take us into the clip here. Yeah, well, LumaStream is a lighting control system. They have drivers in which are the lights themselves, or the power supplies for the lights, and the fixtures. So it's a full like soup to nuts system, but with a unique angle. It's all low voltage wiring, so you don't have to have an electrician. Like if you're an integrator, you don't have to have the full electrician's license to pull this around in some jurisdictions. Of course, probably good to check on that, to see what the laws are. Can't be too safe. Yep, definitely. But let's go ahead and listen to Mike. I spoke with him at the show. They've been around for a couple of years, and the booth just keeps getting bigger and bigger each year. I've been watching them. So I decided to catch him this year and have a quick look-see at the product. Awesome. All right, I'm here at the LumaStream booth with Mike. Mike, how are you doing?
Doing great.
You having a good show so far?
We're having a great show. We're going to need a bigger booth.
That sounds good. So let us know a little bit about LumaStream here. This is a different type of product.
This is an intelligent LED lighting system. It's a full low voltage class 2 system. It comes with a pluggable power supply that can power, dim and control up to 24 lights per power supply. That power supply can control a whole variety of lights. And we have a whole new residential line of fixtures that we're launching at CEDIA this year.
Very cool, very cool. I'm looking at, this is the What is this right here?
Trinity Power Supply. It's our driver.
Driver, right.
It contains all of our patented technology that allows you to dim and control up to 24 lights per power supply. It only consumes 2.4 amps.
Oh, wow.
You can put 6 of these on 120 amp circuit and power 144 lights on a single 20 volt 20 amp circuit.
So our listeners who may not be electricians, normally in a house when you have a light switch and a regular light socket in the room, that's got line voltage goes with it. It's a high voltage. It'll shock you when you touch it. It's 120 volts. And that requires an electrician actually to hook up and install. This is something that an integrator could install without having the full EC license. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Depending on the permitting and the jurisdiction.
Yeah, of course.
This has a plug that can plug in. You get an electrician to give you an outlet, and you can do the whole lighting system from there. With LEDs, everybody knows they're energy efficient, but what they don't know is that it needs very little power, low voltage DC current, and they require drivers. So instead of converting and transforming power at the fixture, we do it remotely and only distribute the power and voltages required by the LED. It's safe, it's shock-free, and fire-free. We've eliminated all the hazards, and it makes it very simple for anybody to install.
Yeah, and you don't have these big giant panels either. Like this is a small, much smaller than what you would see in like trying to control 24 loads on a Lutron panel, for example.
Exactly. Well, all those relay modules that you'll find with other control systems can be eliminated, except for other line voltage items on the system. And we use DMX to control things, so it's really the number of zones that are created through DMX are limitless.
Right.
You don't have to rewire. Once the lights are wired to the power supply, you can create as many dim zones as possible without having to rewire anything. Every power channel has an address, and that gives you an address for every fixture or pair of fixtures on that power channel.
Wow, that's very cool and very powerful, it sounds like. If anybody wants to learn a little bit more about LumaStream or get in touch with you, what's the best way they can do that?
They can go to lumastream.com.
Excellent. Mike, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I think that intelligent lighting and low voltage LED lighting is something I've seen around the last couple of years at CEDIA. I've never taken the time to stop by and check it out. I think that's a pretty neat product. I'm glad you had a chance to go chat with them.
Yeah, it's so different. Like I have an LED light in my garage that I put in. Like it has the LED lights in it as well, and it has the driver, like the board and equipment on the back. And like LEDs will last forever, but those little boards, they go bad pretty quickly.
Right.
And so you go in, you flip the light on, and it starts flickering, and eventually it just dies, and you have to get another one. But this is like the driver gets put in more what you and I are used to, like in high-end homes, like a panelized system. And all the wiring gets brought back to a centralized location. I think it could be pretty powerful for dealers looking to kind of expand the services and products they're able to offer, especially if they're not full electricians or they don't need to have that EC license. This is a really cool product for that, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at their website right now, and it looks like they've got quite a few fixtures to choose from, and that was a definite question of mine. I know that typically the homes that we are doing lighting control in are pretty high end. There's often a interior designer or even a specialized lighting designer in a lot of cases, and they can be very, very particular about the type of fixtures that they're going to use in the home. And so that was one of the first questions that jumped to my mind is, well, all this technology is great, but all the designer is going to care about is what the fixture looks like. And so it looks like they've got quite a few choices there, which definitely bodes well for them. And I think lighting control clearly is one of those mainstay categories that integrators are going to increasingly look to maintain differentiation between what you can go out and buy at Best Buy and do yourself now versus what it's going to take, the kind of technologies that will require a home technology professional. And so I think systems like this and intelligent lighting has a big role to play in the future of our industry, I believe. So
yeah,
good find, cool product. I'm glad you had a chance to stop by and get that soundbite.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Like I said, I've been watching them for a number of years. Actually, when I was working the show a couple of years back, it was like one guy with a couple of like fixtures on a table, and now it's
right.
They've got this huge booth, and I think they're going to need to go a little bit bigger next year.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, that's great. Glad to hear it. And let's move on to the next one here. This is actually a product, Seth, that you and I talked about when we did our CEDIA on location special. as one of the quirky, sort of unique products that we saw out there that was solving a problem in a new or unique way. And this is a company called Axis Gear, AXIS. And it's this little device that you mount on the inside of a window well, and you can feed any window treatment that has a continuous loop. So you've seen those ball chains or pull strings that just go in a continuous loop on your shades. Well, you feed that right through there. It's got a little motor inside of it, a couple of different wireless technologies they have built into it that you can communicate with it, and voila, you've taken a traditional pull string shade and turned it into an automated one. So I thought that was a pretty unique angle to come at it from.
Yeah, and we'll get into it. The pricing was $199 for the Bluetooth only, $249 for the Zigbee Z-Wave, which we'll need in our industry. But let's take a listen. I talked to Manu about the product, and let's take a listen. We're at the Axis booth with Manu. Tell us a little bit about this product. This is one of the coolest things I've seen at the show.
Thanks a lot, Seth. So let me give you the quick overview, if you will, right? So the product is called Gear. It's a device that allows you for the very first time to motorize your existing window shades. It works by controlling the beater chain or cord loop that you find on most window shades. It's compatible with a variety of shades, including roller shades, vertical blinds, curtains and draperies, and much more. Installation is a cinch. All you have to do is you take the device and attach it to the beater chain or cord loop of your shade. And that's it. Really, anyone can do it.
The chain runs in the top of the device, goes around a gear or some kind of sprocket or something there, and comes back out.
That's exactly right. So think of it as a motorized pulley. The chain goes in, attaches itself to a sprocket, or rather the gear is sprocket, and the sprocket turns, which causes the window shade to open and close. Once installed, you can control your shade from your smartphone. You can create schedules, or you can even control the device you can even control the shade from the device itself. And the device itself is very slim. It's in white and with brushed aluminum accent. So it's really designed to blend in with any environment while sticking out in just the right ways.
I think one of the coolest thing on here is you have some little tactile control here. You can reach over if you're sitting next to the window itself, touch the device. It's got a little touch screen on it. And move the shade up to predetermined levels.
Exactly. And the thing beyond that is very simple. Say you have guests over.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the app.
No one's going to download the app to open your window shades, if you will. Or better yet, you find yourself already next to the window shade. Does it make sense to take out your smartphone?
Right.
So this allows you to control your shades from the device itself with just a tap of your finger.
And how does this get power? It looks like, is it battery powered?
Yeah, so it's powered by battery and solar.
Solar.
Exactly. So that way, you never have to worry about recharging the device. It continually gets recharged, and it's really a worry-free mechanism.
Yeah, definitely. There's one place that has light all the time. It's your windows, right?
That's exactly right. Couldn't have put it better myself.
All right. Yeah. This just looks like a great little device. It's kind of like one of the gentlemen that was just walking through said, "Oh, that's a better mousetrap," because it's such a simple idea, but it's executed so well, and you can just take any roller. You said different types of shades, but we're looking at a roller right here, just a manual roller with the chain on it. Runs in and out, and now you have a motorized shade. It's awesome.
That's exactly it. You know what? That should be our tagline, perhaps.
Yeah.
Axis Gear, a better mousetrap.
Better mousetrap. Yeah, exactly. Well, Manu, thanks very much for taking your time. Where can people find a little bit more about Axis?
Sure. They can currently pre-order off our website. The website is www.axis, as in AXIS. .life. That's like LIFE. So it's www.axis.life. We're shipping in January. However, customers can currently pre-order our units at $145 a unit, which is a substantial discount to what we'll be retailing at, which will be $199 a unit.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much.
A better mousetrap. That's very true. I was standing there with you when George, who I work for here in Denver, made that comment, and I thought it was right on point. It is a clever device, definitely something that I would look to potentially in my own house. I know when I got home from the show, I was looking at a couple of my windows thinking, I wonder if that would work. And we've got some pretty old blinds here at the house that I think have just kind of had some wear and tear over the years, and you have to pull pretty hard on the string to get them moving up in particular. And so that kind of made me wonder, how strong is that little motor in there? And if you have that sort of condition in your house, is that going to be an issue? But I think that by and large, for most people who have, your typical window condition, like he said, that's a very common type of shade, and I think this is a pretty neat product. I know we joked about it a little bit at our On Location special, and I'm a big fan of the fact that they added that like tactile control there and gave you the ability to just walk up to the device, and if you want the window shade to kind of come to 50%, you can just push right in the middle of it. If you want it to go all the way up, you can push at the top, and I thought that was a pretty thoughtful addition to the feature set, and hope these guys do well. I think it's a clever product.
Yeah, me too. They're shipping Q1. Obviously I would, recommend waiting until something does ship to buy it. But you, like you said, you can also get that teaser rate there. I think, what was it, $149? So $50 off.
$149. Yep. And want to mention real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one. I did have a chance to chat with this company as well. And they mentioned that when they launch, they're going to have drivers for Control4, SmartThings, as well as Harmony. And they're going to be looking to do additional integrations as well.
Well, the next one coming up, this one may take some time. We're going to have this gentleman on from MirrorView. His name's Robert Bishop. And he is, Jason, if you ever want to know anything about HDMI, he's your guy to talk to.
He's the guy?
Yep. He has figured out this really cool product that we've talked about before, but it wasn't shipping, and now it's shipping, and it's working. So this product's called MirrorView, and it is a video distribution so it's HDMI over IP video distribution system. And what we have now are very, very complicated HDMI, either HDMI matrices, like we're using the HD-Base-T systems to push out high definition over Cat5 and these little ballons on the other ends, or we're using HDMI over IP. And this is one of those systems with a little twist, and it's a little bit more. I think it's the next generation of what we're going to see for video distribution.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to know more about it. I'm assuming you guys probably covered a bit of ground in the clip. So let's go ahead and jump into that interview, and then we'll come back and close it out with some additional thoughts.
I'm here at the MirrorView booth with Robert Bishop. Robert, looks like a pretty busy show. How are you guys doing?
Oh, it's been fabulous for us. We came last year. We didn't really have a product. We had a technology. We demonstrated it. And actually won best in class and best of show. That was a big shock to us when we got back to our offices. Yeah. But now our second year, we have our product and it's finished, and basically this is it. I'm sorry you can't see that. I'm holding it right in front of the microphone now, so. But if you go to our website, you can see it.
Yeah.
But it's a single box, and it's both a transmitter and a receiver. So what we do is IP video distribution. So we're not an HD-Base-T matrix switch. We're an IP-based system. And in the IP world, there's two categories of products. There's ones that use JPEG technology to throw the video over the wire, and it blows up pretty big, and it gets complicated to manage. And then there are those who are doing H.264 encoding, and we're one of those.
Okay.
Typically, the products that are doing H.264 encoding, they suffer from latency issues, whereas the JPEG guys are fast, but they suffer with size, how much bandwidth they're taking on the wire, and then how to manage it.
Right, you have to set up a pretty complicated network.
Network, right. So we're an H.264 guy, but our latency is just practically nothing. When you see it at the booth, and you can see it online on our website, you'll notice that it's just right there in sync. It's very, very quick, but it's also small. So our booth here, we have all these panels and all these sources running, and it's running on a 10100 switch.
Right.
I don't think there's a product here that's running on a 10100 switch.
So that's what I want to say. I've walked through the whole floor here, and anybody who is touching HDMI these days seems to have a product that is HDMI over IP. I've seen a half dozen of them.
Why wouldn't they go there?
And I mean, there's people that have been in the space for a very long time, and there's people that are just coming on in the last couple of years, and now, I mean, it seems like I've seen at least 6 or 7 of them that I can name off the top of my head without, in stone throw of your booth.
That's because,
what makes you guys different?
Well, IP won the war of video distribution a long time ago. It's just the technology to really do it inside of a local network really wasn't there.
Right.
As far as encoding and decoding is concerned, the JPEG approach has been there for a number of years. So there's a number of companies that came out originally, and they're still there. What makes us different is that in our little box, it's a single box, so it's one SKU, and it's both a transmitter and a receiver, and it can do both simultaneously. So if you take your HDMI source into the HDMI in port, and you take your display, which could be a TV or projector, to the HDMI out port on the box, then the boxes network with each other, so you can distribute your sources throughout the home or office if you choose to do that.
Yep.
The boxes talk to each other, and you can route any source to any display over the network. Now the network, so the fact that it's one box, that's unique.
Right, and
That
we're
it does
looking
it
at
at
this
the
box.
same time, it's unique.
You kind of made, well, you can't see the box, but it's about the size of an Apple TV, like the older one. It's about the same size. It's got two HDMI in, or an HDMI in and HDMI out, and some network ports.
Yeah, network ports and some ports for IR and RS-232 and stereo down mix. And then on the back, there's a slip-in card, because the way that these boxes network can either be over a standard Ethernet network, so Cat5, Cat6, whatever, or you can network over coax wiring.
Right,
Or you can network wirelessly. Our stream is not heavy like the JPEG guys approach, and so for us to distribute video both ways at the same time, because it does both at the same time from a box that's wireless, we can do it, and we do it quite well.
Wow.
So the box acts as a transmitter, it acts as a receiver, it acts as a switch, and it also acts as a wireless access point. If you're not using the wireless to distribute the video, you can use it as an access point. So now my room, I have in my master bedroom, my wireless, my Wi-Fi sucks in my bedroom.
Right.
And so I put the box in there, and all of a sudden my problem's solved, because I just had the access point right there, and it's a wired connection back to my network that then allows me to get out to the internet or whatever I need to be doing. So what's different is a single box. What's different is the transport layer can be Ethernet, coax, or wireless. What's different is that we don't require a big managed switch, and we can run down in the low world, the low end world. Another thing is very different is the type of sources that we allow. Everybody just does HDMI to HDMI. But we do video casting, so like an Apple TV, you can take your phone or your tablet and cast it to our box, whether it's Apple or Android, and see it on the TV. So we have a number of display protocols that are wireless that allow us to do that. We also can take direct IP streams. So if you have an IP camera on your network and it's plugged to the switch, you can just pull that up directly. You don't have to run it through an NVR. You don't have to have a separate box, more equipment, etc. It's just there.
Right.
Another thing is that, let's say I have a NAS drive on my system, and I got media in a directory. I can point the box to that location, and it'll pick up all the media that's there and allow me to play it.
Cover art and everything.
That's correct.
It's
Whatever happens to be there. If there's cover art, it'll just display it. If there's not, it'll just give you a generic icon. It's really cool.
So that's what makes a little bit more unique too, is you have like an on-screen overlaid interface.
Yeah. Okay, so the types of sources that we have is one area.
Yeah.
The other area is how we can control it. So on the one hand, if you want to use our remote, which is IR, or you want to use CEC, which is the manufacturer's remote, we pop up an on-screen display, and you can see the sources and select the one you want, and it will switch. And you don't need a controller at all.
Right.
You don't need to have any fancy switching stuff set up.
Just a regular IR remote will do it.
Our IR, so you would learn it, or the CEC with the manufacturer's remote. Or you can take your phone or your tablet, and you can put our app on it, iOS or Android. And that also, I apologize for that.
It's all right.
We're at the show, so we can't really control who's going to be playing their music loud. But you can, through our little app, you can see the TVs that are on the network. You can see what's playing on each TV. You can see your sources that are on the network. You can assign sources to TVs so that you say, I want to watch this source on these 3 TVs. Boom, boom, boom.
You don't need a big giant control system to back it up.
No, you don't need. You're not using our on-screen display at that point. And also, we have some nice features that like messaging. If you're watching a stream, let's say I'm in my bedroom, I'm watching a DirecTV. Yeah. And my son tunes in the family room to the DirecTV. It gives me a message that says, you're now sharing with the family room. And then to him it gives, you're now sharing with the master bedroom. And the reason for that is so that I know.
You know when somebody's watching the same TV, same source.
So that he's not changing my thing. Yeah. And if it's not age appropriate for my boy, I can run over there and say, hey, look, buddy.
What are you doing here?
This is a PG-13 and it's a little bit too much for you right now. So we're going to put you on the Apple TV and you can watch, an episode of whatever.
Let's talk about pricing here. I think that's a unique angle too, because you get out of the box, like we were talking about, you get both an encoder and a decoder in one
transmitter
box.
Receiver, correct.
So how does that work?
The list price on the box is $5.99.
Wow.
And so, actually, that's cheaper than anybody that I know of. I don't think anybody is $5.99 for their transmitter or receiver. Right. So if we're less expensive in that sense, even if you're using the box as a single-purpose box where you rack up your sources and you're just using it as a transmitter, or you're just using it as a receiver on the back of the TV, we're still less expensive.
Right.
But if you distribute your sources, then we're less than half.
Right, because you could conceivably put a cable box or an Apple TV behind one TV, and then do the cable box or a Blu-ray player to another TV.
That's correct.
And they're available at both sides.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we built. Well, just this final thing here, the control. All I've talked about is that we can control ourselves without a controller. But if you want to have a controller control us, that's great too. Because we have drivers for Control 4 and popular control automation systems. They'll send us the code to switch. We switch. In fact, they can use our infrastructure to talk to the devices connected to us. So when they want to send an IR command to the TV connected to our box, it comes IP to us and we flash it out.
Oh, that's
cool. You don't have to use any of their infrastructure. You use our infrastructure.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think we built something that's kind of like the freaking Swiss Army knife of video distribution, and I look at everybody and they've got a knife.
Right. This has got every tool in the box for you. So if somebody wants to learn more, where do they go?
Oh, they go to miraview.com. That's MIRAV as in Victor UE.com, and we have a nice little demo there that will show them their specs and so forth. Plenty of information.
Very cool. Well, Robert, thanks so much for coming on the show. And
thanks for dropping by.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, anytime you want to talk about something controversial, I'm your guy. I got no filter.
Sounds good.
See ya.
So yeah, long recording, but I thought it was kind of worth it because we got a lot of info from him, and it's a completely disruptive technology, as for the video distribution market, I think.
Yeah, geez, everything but the kitchen sink in that little box. That's that's crazy. Yeah. I'm shocked, honestly. You've been telling me about MirrorView for a while, and we've been considering reaching out, and maybe getting them on the show, and I think it's definitely something we should look into. I'm impressed. I'm not sure how they did it. That seems like a crazy feat of engineering. The feature set in that little box at the price point is insane. Yeah, really cool. So just wonder how that's going to stand up in the wild. It almost seems too good to be true, but that's impressive. Definitely a really a cool feature set, and like you said, seems like a potentially very disruptive product.
Yep, definitely. So next one I went by. I was kind of tipped off about this one. By a friend of the show, Chris Bender, and it's a company called PixelGen, and these guys have come up with an interesting tool. I think if you're dealing with 4K in any kind of way, shape, or form, you should probably put this in your toolbox tomorrow. It is a little fixer. So is the best way I can describe it.
Is that the scientific term?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and listen to the audio, and then we'll follow up at the end.
Let's jump in. Let's do it.
Here over at the PixelGen booth with Jack, looking at Pixel Drive. What is this?
I don't even know. No. Actually, what this is it's an active detachable dongle for Max 4K extension. What we've tried to do here is create something that's ideal for the home cinema, primarily. That's the best use case that we built this from, where you have a cable on the wall, which may be unknown as to what it was and who installed it and what kind of quality of the cable that it was. And in this situation, that we can actually look at a cable possibly where it was fine with 1080p or even the lower resolutions of 4K, like 4K SDR, the lowest resolution, the lowest specification of 4K. And maybe it was fine. But what Pixel Drive is meant to do is recover that signal through that cable and resurrect it, essentially. Bring it back to transmitter-worthy signal transmission to get to the TV to ensure that you get that long-reach application to be the highest resolution. So we're really proud of it. It comes in a 10 and a 15-meter bundle, and the retrofit isn't in standalone.
Excellent. So I'm a dealer, and I go out and I sell one of these nice fancy new projectors they're talking about here at the show that cost $60,000, and I upgrade the entire theater to be 4K ready.
Yeah.
And I plug it all together, and I get no video.
Oops. Yeah. Right. So one of the funniest things that I see is the flashing pristine image, and that's the one I always joke about. And it's I'd rather see it consistently. Maybe if I blinked and it wouldn't look so obvious, but it really is a problem. And I mean, these issues can happen with sparkles. They can happen with streaks across the screen. Actually, we're looking at it right now in this demo. It's actually timed out perfectly. for the showing off what the problems can actually be, so we can actually tell that there is an order to the madness of when things start failing. But of course, we add in our technology, and all that goes away. So we want it to really look like a 1 meter cable. It may be oversimplifying, but we really do want this long reach connection to look exactly like a 1 meter cable, both in what it is, what it's used for, and how you would actually install it. You just plug it in, it works, and you're happy.
Fixes all the problems. This is really cool. It's a very small box. It's got, it looks like it's barely enough to fit the HDMI cables in. But also what I like about it is that the power cable on there is USB, so you can just plug it right into the display.
Yeah, we found that would be a really convenient piece for probably the installer, something that we could look at just to take a convenient piece right off the projector or the flat panel display and see something that could just power directly off the panel itself and make everything just power the circuitry that's needed to recover these high bandwidth signals.
Excellent. And so I'm a dealer, and I definitely want to have every one of these in my toolbox.
Yes.
Like every one of my techs, I have one of these just in case we run into a high-end theater or high-end install where I need 4K to actually be on the TV screen for the client.
Right.
What do these things run?
So we're looking at the retrofitted solution, which comes in its own little unique, almost iPhone-style little box that you open up, you see a pixel drive, you get your USB cable, and a small HDMI cable that comes from the output of the device to the panel.
TV. Yep.
Yeah, we're looking at $249 MSRP. And then when you go up to the bundle, where the THX certified bundle, we're looking at it's a 10 meter, $279 MSRP. And then when you jump up to the 15 meter solution, you get it up to $299. So really we're trying to take all the practical lengths that you'd need there and also give the guy that only needs 10 the 10 and the guy that needs the 15 the 15
right.
And an appropriate jump to what they need to do.
Excellent. Well, Jax, thanks very much for your time here, and we'll be looking forward to putting this in our toolbox. This is great.
Well, thank you so much, and please visit us at our website at www.pixelgendesign.com or info@pixelgendesign.com for any questions you might have.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very cool. I think that definite problem solver. We love seeing products like those. You described the scenario perfectly. It's that nightmare scenario where you have a client who just spent a whole bunch of money and you've promised to deliver a very high performance room, and then you go to turn it on and no picture, or it does get picture, and then the first night they go to use it, no picture. And so every home technology professional listening to the show right now has been there. They know that feeling. It's the worst, and they know that with 4K coming in a very prevalent way, that's only going to become more prevalent. And so I think little problem solvers like this are, like you said, a great tool to have in your box.
Yeah, and since we released this show on Friday, and it'll get into everybody's podcatchers by hopefully before the end of the day, some people may be listening to this and saying, "Wow, I really wish I had a PixelGen," because I know how those Friday installs go. They're never fun, and that's when things will break, and then you'll have problems like this.
The worst. It's the worst. Anyway, so yeah, that's another good find. I think that's a pretty cool product and definitely one that we'll take a hard look at. Let's move to the next one here. This is a pretty high-end product. I know that you had a chance to go check it out. I actually was looking at the pictures afterwards and was kicking myself a little bit for not making it a priority to go check these guys out. CXC Simulations. Tell us a little about that and take us into the clip.
Oh man, this is a ride for your home. So these guys, I won't get too much into it, but this is a complete car video game, not even a video game. This is a complete simulation, either car or I think they had a jet fighter simulation, and they were also using the Oculus Rift which is the VR simulation on one side. But the thing is, you strap into this chair, and it has actuators just like a Disney World ride, and it moves you around as you're moving. Really cool, very cool. So let's just take a listen, and then we'll come back and talk about it. I'm here at the CXC Simulations booth with Chris. Chris, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Looks like this booth has been busy the entire show, so it looks like you guys had a pretty good show.
Yeah, no breaks for us. It's been slammed. This has been a great show for us, actually, because it's kind of our coming out to this type of market, become more from the professional training side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be able to show that we can productize a training tool and make it easy enough to use for the home.
Right. So let's start talking about the product a little bit, because this is probably the craziest product I've seen here. Mm-hmm. You're doing full driver simulations, flight simulations, with the chair that is on actuators that moves and tilts and bumps when you're driving down the road.
Yep.
This is amazing looking stuff.
Yeah, so for us, it's all about full immersion. The more you feel like you're in the car or in the airplane, the better it was as a training tool, and also the more fun it is for just playing around. And for us, that immersion comes down to really high-end audio, really high-end visual systems from like triple screens up to 75 inches or 88 inches now to VR systems, but also the haptic feedback part of it, the physical feedback. And that's more than just motion systems. That's vibratory control. Everything you touch and feel on that sim actually gives you physical feedback. We make our own motion systems. We make our own force feedback engine. We use seatbelt tensioners.
Oh, wow.
And we have like a hydraulic pedal set, so because nothing feels like a hydraulic brake pedal.
Right.
So we agonize over all the little haptic details too.
Yeah. So the big thing right now in the world of like immersion is virtual reality, and I noticed you guys had an Oculus set over there.
Yep.
And you're running, a setup where somebody turns their head, you can see what they're looking at on the screen, and of course to them it looks like they're really in the environment. And that I've heard is great, but you guys are also doing the physical haptic feel to everything as you go along.
Yeah, I mean, the brain is a tricky thing. It knows when something's missing. And, the visual systems with Oculus and HTC are fantastic, but when you're missing that physical detail, you're automatically separated from that. So for us, again, when it comes down to all those little tiny haptic details, it really fills in the picture.
Right.
I really call it the transportation device. It takes you right to the car.
Right.
I'm in the car, no longer on the show floor, and when people talk to me, it's very weird, because I feel like I'm in a race car.
Right, yeah. And the simulations do look, I'm looking at these giant, these 75-inch screens. There's three of them wrapped around someone in a chair that's just like, this is probably what Disney World rides look like if you took all the little fancy covers off of them. This looks real. I can't really, there's rain hitting the windows on these things as they drive down. This is really cool stuff. And I can see getting lost in this pretty easily.
Oh, yeah. You spend hours and then you get out and you're drenched in sweat, because you're like, wow, that was really physical.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, tell us a little bit about if somebody's interested in getting one of these into one of their clients' hands, where can they go to find out a little bit more about CXC?
The best place is to go to our website, cxcsimulations.com. There you can learn all about the company, our history, where we come from. We come from racing and flight training, and you can configure a system using our configurator tool on our website, so you can see the base model, and as you add bits and pieces, you can see what that does for the simulator, and all our pricing is there.
Very cool. Very good. Well, Chris, thanks very much. I'll let you get back to it. It looks like the booth is filling back up, so have a good show.
My pleasure. Right, thanks.
Wow. So 2 thoughts. 1, I will not miss these guys at CEDIA next year. And 2, that would be a really fun company to work for.
Oh, yeah.
That is very cool.
Picture this thing in the show notes. Like this was an amazing setup. And they had 3 of these things set up, and I walked around and watched them all. I really wish I had taken the time to hop in one of the chairs and driven around, and you could hear the car running in the background there. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome that they come from a background of training, so really deeply embedded in that simulation space. So I'm sure that really comes through in the quality and the experience of using one of these things. And I'm like you, I walked by it a number of times. There was always a bunch of people standing there, always somebody sitting in the chair doing it, and I kept telling myself, man, I should really try to make some time to do that, and I never did. I regret it. It sounds like a really cool technology and definitely something that I'll put on my must-do list for next year.
Yep, me too. I've got one more kind of out there product, and this is more, I guess, kind of falls in the high end space, but it's a company called Visualant, and I think I've mentioned them here a couple times before. But these guys are doing like analytics built into security cameras, so they can actually detect, if a person is walking through the field of view of the camera. Normally, you just get, hey, there's motion here. But if a tree blows, you get, hey, there's motion here normally. This time it can detect if it's a person, a car, an animal. It has all sorts of features built into these things. But I've been keeping my eye on for a while, and they had a really cool booth this year with a really cool, interesting new technologies that they were showing off for cameras, and I just wanted to talk to them. So let's dive into this one. All right, I'm at the Vigilant booth with the Ricky Pinchot. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Been a great show.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys are super busy, and I just kind of snuck in here, and it's like a little lull. So let's get something recorded. Vigilant, if people don't know, is a camera system, cameras with built-in analytics, and that's what I know about them.
Right.
So what else can you say to it?
Well, in today's world, we need the cameras to do a little bit more than what they normally do, which is record activity. Unfortunately, most of the time it's recording. We play back the activity, and yes, we see them breaking in the car, and yes, we see them breaking down the front door. There's not much we can do about it. We have them on video. So our cameras all include analytic as a base functionality, and analytics allow us to utilize the camera's intelligence to generate an event notification. And that event notification could be in the form of an email with a picture attached. So now when someone is in your front door area, let's say after midnight, we can send an event notification to the homeowner's email address with a picture, and now immediately they know that someone's in a location that they want to know about. So now the security system, at least on the video side, can be more proactively involved in the surveillance side. We can do notifications instantly to the homeowner to let them know someone's in a location that they want to know about.
Right.
In addition to that, our cameras, most of the models have this new Starlight technology, and Starlight is a new chipset that Sony invented that allows us to utilize the camera at nighttime in a very, very low light condition. It keeps the camera in the color mode for extended period of time, and sometimes that extended period of time is all night long. Now, our eyes perceive black and white as a flat wall type scenario, and we don't make depth adjustments for that in black and white. So if we can make our surveillance cameras stay color all night long, we're going to have a much better experience with our cameras at nighttime. So we have new Starlight technology, and then the next generation of Starlight technology called Super Starlight that really does take all available light in nighttime and utilizes it to amplify the light and keep the camera in the color mode. This is pretty cutting edge technology. We're one of the first to the market with it. Most camera manufacturers will be rolling it out in the next 8 to 10 months. We have it now in 7 models. When the newer version of Super Starlight comes out in January, we'll probably have it in 4 or 5 models. So we're really excited about the Starlight technology as well as the analytic capabilities in our camera.
Yeah, I mean, if you put the two together, you're seeing things in the middle. Well, your camera, you can't see them, but the camera can see them. Things in the middle of the night, like the difference between a person and a car, and be able to trigger alarm events and let you know what's going on. It's actually real surveillance rather than, these blobs of white that you get from the other guys, right?
Right. I tend to classify our cameras as proactive surveillance, and that's what we need today. I mean, everybody's getting cameras, but the problem in our industry is everybody's racing to the bottom to try to go with the lowest cost camera. What we try to do is give you a good cost camera, but also give you more features that help you sell the cameras to the consumers. These are features that the consumers can actually use, make it a better surveillance system for, a better bang for your buck, better value for your dollar investment. So cameras are all software upgradable via the internet, so that if there are new features that come out, we can simply log into the cameras and upgrade their firmware, and now you have additional features. So again, obsolete cameras need to go away, and you need to use the Vigilant intelligent cameras.
Yeah, it's too bad we're a podcast because you have this demo of the Starlight up here, the Super Starlight. This is amazing. Like, this is really seeing in the dark, like real colors.
Yeah, we created a pretty cool little demo box. It's basically just a little black cabinet that we got set down on the floor. We have 3 basically identical cameras mounted on one side of the box, and they each have a different chipset in them. One is a regular IR camera. The second is our regular Starlight camera that we're selling now. And then the third one is the new Super Starlight chip that's coming out. And by opening and closing the door a little bit at a time, we can put in various amounts of light into the cabinet. And we can actually show what actually can happen with that chip. And you can actually see the Super Starlight take that amount of light and amplify it. And you can see the color image very clearly.
Yeah, it's really impressive. So, well, Ricky, thanks for your time. I appreciate you taking time out of the busy schedule here on the show for talking to us. So I'll let you go. But where can people find out a little bit more about Vigilant, and where can they get it? Where are you guys available? North America, and I know European markets too.
We are available overseas, mainly in the UK, but we are opening new branches of distribution overseas. But in the US or anywhere, basically you can go to vigilant.net. On our website, there is a dealer information form that you can fill out to find out more about where to go to buy our products or to become a dealer for us.
Excellent. Well, Ricky, thanks very much.
Alrighty.
Very cool. That's a neat concept. I like the term he used, proactive surveillance. I do think that's a clear flaw with a lot of surveillance systems. We'll put them in sometimes. We don't do a ton of surveillance, but we definitely do it on occasion. And, it's as much for a deterrent as anything else, because typically, like he said, you get the footage, but you're not getting a whole lot with that. And if you can make out a face, you're pretty lucky. And so surveillance is one of those things that it's good to have, but can be sort of a limited model. And I love what these guys are doing with that added intelligence. I think is interesting.
The surveillance stuff I've always installed is really just boring. Like, you put a camera up, you point it in a direction, you mask off all the palm trees and the swimming pool, and then you're left with like this little sliver of, motion detection area that may never actually pick anybody up, or even if it like pointed out towards the driveway, it's at night, like the bugs get up in there, and it's just like this white blob of a view, and you can't see very much. So I really like what they're doing. These guys really like to push the envelope. Like he said, that they're like 6 to 8 months before anybody else is going to hit the market with this what they call Starlight technology. And they're already moving on to the new models for January. So if you do a lot of security or surveillance stuff, I would, or just want to sell it as a premium and have something better than like the little, like, I don't want to point any fingers, but like the lowest cost denominator type thing. Like these guys really do have some cool stuff. They have drivers for Control 4 and Crestrons for their cameras. Like it's really cool stuff. So check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think you did a great job there finding some unique products and different, companies coming at problems from a different angle. So I really had a good time listening to those. Let's move on to our last and final segment of CEDIA 2016 coverage here. We're going to wind down this show with a number of sound bites that really reflect this influence of DIY on the CEDIA space. And we've been talking about that for a couple of years, but really we felt like this year was the first time that we've seen, in my opinion, a significant effort from a lot of these companies to embrace the CEDIA integrator in a meaningful way. And we tried to find some companies that were examples of that. So DIY products that are really prevalent on the CEDIA show floor, but are doing things to embrace the home technology professional and figure out how we can work together. So we found a number of clips that we feel like reflect that. And let's just jump right in and get started. The first one is a friend of the show we had on, it's been a while now, Neo. And they've got this great, cool, like handheld remote that we're all really anxious for them to start shipping. It was great to get to meet those guys in person, get to hold the remote in my hand for the first time. Beautiful product. Really hoping they can get that to market soon. And without me, saying anything more, let's jump into the clip, and then we can come back and add some comments.
All right, I'm here with Raphael from Neo. Raphael, how's it going?
Very good. Very busy show. Thank you.
Awesome. You guys getting good feedback from the dealer channel?
It's amazing. It's amazing to see if once people have it in their hand, how they react to it, and what questions they ask. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a beautiful remote. This is the first time I've actually had a chance to hold it in my hand, and it's got a really nice feel. I noticed it's got a black model. Is that new? I've always seen silver in the images.
No, that's only a special edition for our Kickstarter backers.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Can you give us any updates on when you expect to ship?
We are just in the final stages of mass production. We care a lot about quality.
Yep.
We want to get things right, and we'll announce it as soon as we really have the devices in front of us. We will announce it, and I very much look forward to that day.
Awesome. One more question I want to ask you about. I know you've got a dealer program, and I'm really excited to see that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we just launched that yesterday, and we keep it very simple. So it's dealers directly buying from us, and depending on how much business we do together, the margin is interesting. And the other part that we care a lot about, we really want to see that experience in the custom installation industry as well. That's why we created an API that allows people to integrate with large control systems. They can even go back to existing jobs where they have done maybe some old, heavy control systems, and we'll be able to put Neo there just as a front end.
Awesome. So API and a dealer program, we love that. So really happy to see you here at the show. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the product.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
So I saw the black one and the silver one. Which one do you want?
I liked the black one. I really did. I was
did
kind
too.
of bummed.
It looked awesome.
Yeah, it had a nice look to it. I was bummed to hear that was only a Kickstarter thing, but who knows? Maybe if they have a successful run, and I think they will, maybe they'll come out with some different color models. But it really is a gorgeous remote. They did a great job on the design. I love the fact that Raphael comes from an integration background. People may not know that about him, but he used to do the home technology professional thing as a trade. So he knows what the channel's about. He understands the importance of quality and reliability. And I think, it's taken them a long time to get the product shipping, and we've talked about that on the show before. But I will commend them. They do a great job of keeping their backers updated on their blog, and really the consistent theme that you'll see if you follow that blog and follow what they're doing is a commitment to quality and a commitment to getting this thing right the first time around. And so I think they're doing the right things, and I wish them the best of luck moving forward.
Yeah, me too, definitely. I'm so excited for this one to ship. I really do want to get my hands on it. There's one quick thing I saw that they were showing off, and I don't think it's got very much coverage, but he was showing off Plex integration. So they actually have integration with Plex right on the remote. Like you can flip through if you have a Plex media server, which now has a cloud option. This is getting crazy. We're gonna have to talk about this thing. But you get all your cover art right on your remote. Yeah, you find the movie you want to hit it play, and it plays the movie on your screen. Really cool.
Yeah, they were showing that on the floor. It had the full two-way feedback, and it looked really, really slick. And so I think, like I said, these guys are doing a lot of things right, and could be a definite game changer in terms of just the DIY handheld remote. There's not a ton of options out there right now. There are a few, but these guys are one to watch. So with that said, let's move to the next clip here. I had a chance to stop by the Eero booth, and Eero to me is an interesting story because they're, again, one of these companies that very DIY, consumer-focused. Kickstarter, I believe, was where I first heard of these guys. It could have been Indiegogo. I can't remember. But in any event, that's their background. And they were on the CEDIA show floor. We talked about it. I believe going into the show, they've got a partnership with Access Networks that I thought was interesting. I don't think we got into that in my soundbite here. But in any event, I think it's interesting to see they're taking a unique approach to Wi-Fi, and to see them out on the show floor and find out what they were doing. It was fun to stop by. So let's jump into that sound clip right now.
I am joined here by Maya from Eero. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, you got it. Have you had a good show?
It's been an awesome show for us.
Yeah,
Yep, first year at CEDIA, so it was great.
Well, yeah, so speaking of that, that's kind of one of the core themes we're looking at this year. We've got companies like Eero, who I think it's probably fair to say at your core you're a consumer product, but you're here at the CEDIA show floor and you're dealing with integrators and home technology professionals. And how have you found that synergy?
It's been really great. The pro installer community is really important for us. Having a really good network in your home is key to so many products now that are internet connected.
Right.
Products you have in the corner of your home, whether it's a smart camera that's sitting outside, or whether it's a thermostat in the front of your home. Places that maybe traditionally haven't been able to get Wi-Fi and have had installers having constant callbacks for products not working properly. A good network can really fix that.
Yeah, definitely. And so you guys are partnering up, I think, in a sense, with Access Networks, right?
Yep,
Can you tell me anything about that?
Yep, we have signed partnerships with Access and Catalyst as our distributors. They're working with regional distributors as well to sell to the end dealers.
Great.
Yeah.
And so what else, for somebody who's listening who may not know, what is it that Eero, what's your secret sauce?
Yeah, so Eero is a whole home Wi-Fi system. So instead of having a single router in one corner of your home, we have multiple access points distributed throughout the house. They all talk to each other and create a mesh network. So basically you have really fast, reliable Wi-Fi in every corner of the home instead of rooms just in proximity to a router.
Right. Well, the product looks beautiful, and I hope you guys have had a great show. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
A little bit of the show floor there.
Yeah, with all of them, right? Yeah, it's a tough recording environment, but that's good. I had forgotten that I did get a chance to ask her about the Access Networks partnership. I think that's interesting. Access Networks has a very solid reputation in the industry. I know that I worked a lot with them out when I lived in Los Angeles, and they're a big player. And so for them to get behind Eero and put their stamp on it, so to speak, I think bodes well for the company. Definitely got my attention and makes me want to give them a harder look. I don't know that it's a product we're going to use in many of our installations, but perhaps in a small retrofit environment or something that we're doing, like for a trade partner, sometimes the builder will call you up and say, hey, come out, fit my personal house. Having solutions like this that are robust and affordable and easy to install is a really great thing to have in your tool belt. So definitely one that we'll be taking a look at.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've heard nothing but good things about Eero. So with the access networks getting on board, I mean, what else do they sell? Ruckus? It's like,
right.
I mean,
yeah, two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Well, I mean, not opposite ends if it works, like it's still quality product. So I
price
think
point
that,
wise though.
Yeah, price definitely. But I think it's just something to keep an eye on, and definitely a product I'll be eyeballing. I don't really need more Wi-Fi coverage in my house. It seems to cover fine with just one, but I there are plenty of people out there who have issues with the single access point, and this is a good solution from all accounts.
Well, and I think that's going to be the challenge for Eero and a lot of these other companies who are coming at Wi-Fi. This is a new thing where companies are reinventing Wi-Fi, and what's old is new again. And I think the challenge is going to be that for a lot of the homes where a target buyer of theirs might consider purchasing that technology, these people are living in smaller homes, starter homes, that sort of thing, where, quite frankly, the Comcast-provided router may kick off enough Wi-Fi for them, and they may not have any issue with it or have a perceived need. Now, whether or not Eero would boost the performance of that network is kind of tangential, right? Because if the client doesn't perceive a need, then really that's all that matters. And so I think that will be a challenge for some of these companies. But I think all in all, having better Wi-Fi in the home clearly is something that most people could benefit from. And if they can get over that hump from a marketing perspective, I think they've got a good road ahead.
Yep, definitely. You know what's funny? I'm seeing Comcast, Verizon, or not Verizon, but Frontier now. They're offering like Wi-Fi extenders because they know that the single access point doesn't work in most of the houses that they're in.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're offering that as an add-on, so it'll be an extra $5 a month for a Wi-Fi.
Oh,
extender.
Really?
Yep.
Of course, I should have assumed that.
Yep. Yeah. Anything to get that extra $5 a month.
That's it. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one here. I got a chance to stop by and talk to the folks over at Ring, and they were showing a product that, to me, we've hinted at it a couple times, and it's one that I definitely want to bring in-house and kick the tires on when they're shipping, and it was the Ring Elite. So I think everybody listening has heard of Ring before. It's a video doorbell, really one of the pioneers in that space, and one of my big qualms with their products and specifying them has always been just hesitancy about the reliability of Wi-Fi on the exterior of the house. And so the Ring Elite, which they were showing on the show floor, has a hardwired PoE connection, which I think is a very big deal in my world at least, and I was excited to see that. So I had a chance to stop by, chat with them about that and about their relationship with the CEDIA channel. So let's jump into that clip right now.
I'm over here at the Ring booth with Hugh. Hugh, how's the show been?
Show's been very exciting. This is the third day of the show. The first day was very busy.
Yep.
Couldn't keep up with the traffic at the booth. Yesterday was very busy. Today's a little slow like the third day usually is, right? It's a weekend.
People are wrapping up and getting home to families.
That's right.
No, I wanted to come by. I think that, the big thing for me coming by this booth is the Ring Elite, the new kind of more professional, I would say, I guess, doorbell.
I would agree with that, yeah.
How would you describe that, and tell us why it's important to the CEDIA channel?
Right, so this is designed exactly for the CEDIA channel. This is absolutely not a DIY product. It's not a product you could put on a retail store shelf and expect a home consumer to install it themselves. It's a one-gang Pro doorbell. It's got a hardwired Ethernet input, so it has power over Ethernet. So any of the small issues a consumer might have encountered with a wireless Wi-Fi getting through the front of the house, getting to the doorbell, getting to a courtyard. Now with a Cat5 run from their router to wherever their doorbell is, and with the PoE injector that we will provide in the package, this device will be completely foolproof and set up with a wired signal, and you won't have any of those dropouts that you might have previously with some of the more DIY products.
And that's a big deal, and I've been telling everyone I've been talking to about it that I think that's having that Ethernet and that PoE is great.
Right.
We love it. It's a nice looking unit. It's flush mount, like you said, goes in a single gang box, so I think it has a really nice, clean, professional look, and I feel like it's a product that integrators are going to get excited about. We were talking about, before we hit record here, and this is kind of one of the key themes of the show, is companies like Ring that at your core, at the outset at least, very consumer-focused company, now kind of meeting us in the middle as integrators and giving us a product that we can really work with. And just talk about the feedback you've been getting and generally how important you see the synergy between Ring and the average CEDIA integrator.
Right. So the integrators, we've been showing the beta units here for the Elite since Thursday, and they've been very pleased with it. They're pleased with the performance of it, the packaging. It'll have 4 color faceplates with it. With it, there will be metal and not plastic, so it'll be a very good-looking appearance, a very high-end look, and obviously custom install, so it's right up their alley. They can pull Cat 5 if they need to. And we've got step product from the original doorbell, which is very DIY-able, although these integrators do sell a lot of those and install them. There's an intimidation factor from the consumer about the whole internet and IoT thing, so some installers have embraced that, and then we came out with the Pro earlier this year, which I call that less DIY-able because that has a power pack that has to go on the transformer in the house, so a lot of the custom integrators you see at the show, a lot of distributors here have embraced that product, and this is just a further evolution of pushing that to a product that's specifically for this market, and the retailers would not even be able to sell or service. It would be a poor experience for them, and it's at a higher price point and higher margin for the custom installers, which they're always looking for.
Are you guys settled on a price point? Do you have a retail?
Yes, we are settled on a price point. It will be $499 retail.
Okay.
And like I said, with more margin for the custom installer.
Great. We love that.
Yep.
And is it shipping?
They need that. It will ship January of next year, so very soon.
Awesome.
Again, I have the final beta in my hand, and there will be a few tweaks. The guys we've met have had some really good suggestions, and we'll continue to refine it, and it will ship, and at CES we'll certainly have workable, sellable products at that time.
Awesome. I love it, and I appreciate you taking a minute to chat with me, and good luck with what's left of the show here.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
Appreciate it.
So what'd you think, Seth?
I love this thing. It really looks good. They let me like hold it. Like they had it installed, but they had a couple that they were walking around with, and it feels like a premium product. It doesn't feel. I have the Pro version at my house, and this feels better than that Pro version, even though I think they're roughly the same.
Yeah. I think that it's been interesting to watch Ring evolve as a company. You know, they started as Doorbot and really, like I said, a pioneer in the space, one of the first movers there, and just sort of looking at the products now from left to right as they've evolved, you can see the refinement, I would say, in the product. And this, to me, was a very clean-looking device, and one that I really, really hope works as advertised, because having the video doorbell is a request that we get very often from our clients. And unfortunately, right now, we just don't feel like we have a good option to provide, because at the low end, you've had Wi-Fi devices that we just simply haven't been comfortable offering a warranty on in terms of the performance. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you know, you've got some very high-end custom stuff that we can do, but that gets really expensive, and there's a lot of coordination. And so, you know, those are great in certain environments, but they're overkill in a lot of others. And just to have a simple product that we can put in to fit that need. I don't personally, as an integrator, feel like I have to make a ton of margin on the product. If I can just fit that need, put it in, be done with it, and move on, you know, we'll go make our money on speakers and high-end projectors and displays and all that. There's plenty of ways that we can add a ton of value to the home. I just need to be able to check off this one little box that it seems like more and more homeowners are asking for, and that right now I just don't have a great solution for.
Yeah, and if it works, it works. I mean, some of the high-end ones you're talking about that cost a ton of money, they're also like not maintenance free, should I say? And
that's a diplomatic way of putting it.
Well, I've had this Ring for a couple months now, and I'm totally happy with it. Like, it really hasn't had too many problems outside the first one I had to ship back to them. But that kind of seems like my curse with products. It's generally the first one I get is bad, so I'm going to send it back. But yeah.
Well, better you than your clients, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
And you know, at the end of the day, if this thing is on a, it's a PoE device, so if you put it on a PoE switch, you put a device like IHG in there that can integrate with that switch, you've got the ability to do PoE resets at a port level. Then you're talking, your worst case scenario, client calls you, hey, it's not working. You zap that port probably 9.5 times out of 10. That's going to fix the problem. Just give it a quick reboot. And so, like I said, I'm excited for the product. I really hope it works as advertised. I would love nothing more than just to have a product that I know and trust and is simple and uncomplicated that I can just put in. And like I said, check that box off, be the one-stop shop for that solution, and then move on.
Yep. Definitely. I wonder how they're going to, they've been on this security tick for a while, right? So I wonder how they're going to justify, bringing a network cable and sticking it out the doorbell. Like, you can secure that network cable by using a managed switch and MAC address reservation for that port, but that's going to be kind of
It's
a
true.
tough sell for me. I'd much rather them have a two wire version and still stick with the secure as it is, the secure wireless. I do think that's a big selling point for them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't really
It can go both ways.
thought too deeply about that. I guess, you do bring up a great point. If you're running an Ethernet cable, a live Ethernet connection out to the video doorbell, somebody could just pop a couple screws off and plug in a device, and they're on your network with no need for a password. So I think you bring up a great point, but I think that's speaking to the value that a home technology professional is going to add above and beyond just making a few dollars on the product. We should be selling on that sort of thing exactly, right? We are the professional. We're going to put a nice managed switch behind that, put in the necessary precautions on a network level in order to prevent something like that from happening. With all that said, I think it would take a fairly sophisticated thief, and we've joked about that before with, smart locks and can they be hacked and all that. And at the end of the day, it's like, if somebody wants to get in your house, they're more than likely just going to, smash a window. But giving them,
and you'll see them coming up to the door. I mean, that's the thing. Like it's plugged in. You'll see who's coming up. Like you have a camera that's plugged in that's recording. You'll see who's messing with it before they're able to remove it from the wall.
Right,
So there's that.
Right. So I guess just ultimately, if somebody's that intent on getting into your network and doing malicious things, then they're probably going to be able to find a way that's easier than standing out in front of your house with a laptop and trying to be inconspicuous. But you make a great point, and I think that it's something home technology professionals in particular should be thinking about.
Yeah, we got to be thinking about it, especially with the super high end ones we're using that are PoE. Same issue. So
very true.
Let's move on to 7 Hugs, friend of the show, Simon Chijekian. I get it.
I think you nailed it.
Did I?
I think you nailed it. Let's run with it.
Yeah, so he was at the show this year showing off both the 7 Hugs remote and their Hug One, which is their sleep monitoring device for the family. And I have a daughter on the way, and I really have like this thing about tracking sleep right now. This product looks like right up my alley, so I'm super excited about it. Let's just dive in and take a listen. I'm here at the 7 Hugs booth with friend of the show, Simon Chijekian. Simon, how's it going? Having a good show?
Yeah, perfect show. Thank you very much. So it has been the first time we came at CEDIA, and it has been great because we have met a lot of integrators and builders, and they are getting a lot of interest with our products. So the Hug One is smart remote.
Yeah. So you've got 2 products on the table here. The first one we talked a little bit on the show is the Hug One. Let's dive deep into that, because when I came by and saw this, I sent a picture to my wife. I'm like, you have to buy this. Please buy this. Just have it ready when I get home. So I'm hoping when I get home there'll be a Hug One, and it's available right now on Amazon.
Yeah, definitely. So Hug One is a sleep tracking device for a whole family. That's the only solution that can track sleep for anyone in the home, including children. I really wanted to develop an easy solution for parents to track the sleep and help them actually teach good sleep habits for children, because sleep is crucial, and 7 out of 10 kids don't sleep enough, and that's very, very important to track. So the Hug One is an extremely easy solution with a hub and small sensors that you put in each bed. It also connects to over home automation devices like the U light, so you can actually control the lights in your bedroom. You can also control your Nest thermostat, so automatically to lower down the temperature in your home when everyone is sleeping. So really, it's a really complete solution with integration of Amazon Alexa and IFT we just announced. Mm-hmm. It's available on Amazon.com at $179 for 2 sensors, and it's possible to buy additional sensors for $49.
Right, and you were showing me yesterday, it is a simple solution. You were showing me yesterday how it all set up and everything. It's just walks through step by step on the app. Simple, easy to use. You connect to it by Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Put your Wi-Fi credentials in, and it logs onto your network, and you're done.
Yeah, so we really wanted an extremely simple solution with nothing to wear. It's just a sensor you put in the bed. You don't have to recharge it. You don't have to synchronize the data. It's all seamless for a user. Yeah.
Right, very good. Well, the second product we have here is the smart remote. We talked about this a little bit on the show that you were on. What's new with the smart remote here?
Yeah, so the smart remote, we had a huge amount of feedback from our community. We are starting to get a massive community, in fact, of people really expecting the remote to be launching. Actually, we are going to launch in a few weeks. So stay tuned and check our website at remote.7x.com. Mm-hmm. We are going to announce several features on launch date, actually very interesting features. But for now, what I can tell is that following the feedback of our community, we just added the infrared control possibility. So we can actually control anything in the home which is infrared. That means hundreds or thousands of devices inside the home. That's, of course, on top of all the connectivity we provide with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices.
Excellent. So you said keep an eye out on this for the next couple of weeks, and shipping possibly...
So we're probably going to ship in Q1 2017. That's going to be March 2017. On launch date, we'll announce a shipment date, a precise shipment date. Yeah.
Oh, great. Excellent. So oh man, I can't wait to see this. So, two really cool products here. And Simon, really appreciate your time on the show for it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, there you have it. The smart remote, I think, is a really, really cool product, and another one that I, just like Neo, really hope comes through. I hope they can get this thing shipping. We did have Simon on the show at one point, and really think that they've got a great sort of mission and mindset about how the smart home should be simpler and more beneficial. And they're a bunch of family guys. I know there was some conversation on the episode we had him on about the origin of the name 7 Hugs, and it all had to do with their kids. And so I think that really speaks to the Hug One product, which sounds like you're very interested in. I have to ask, did your wife get you one?
She doesn't listen to me. It's in my shopping cart right now.
Well,
so.
You tried.
Yeah, it's got a couple things that I mean, besides sleep, it also does like air quality and that kind of thing, like indoor temperature, humidity. I had just bought a Canary and was kind of testing it out. It's got a camera built into it, so it has the camera, but it doesn't have the sleep tracking. And now I'm kind of like, I could return the Canary and get this, but I kind of like having the camera. So I don't know. Maybe I'll end up with them both.
Right. Well, the 7 Hugs, the smart remote, is really cool. I won't try to describe it on air, but definitely if you've never seen it before, I would encourage you to go check out their website. Very unique approach, and love the fact that they added IR. I think he mentioned they got a lot of feedback, and that to me was a pretty obvious choice for them to go ahead and move forward with that. I think it fits too perfectly into the living room, and as a way to control your TV and perhaps your cable box or whatever. I think it was screaming for that. So I'm glad they decided to add that, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on these guys.
Yep. Well, last but definitely not least, we've got Sonos, Jason.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of a fitting place to wrap up. They've been a mainstay at CEDIA for a while now, and interesting trends to watch with them. And I think this year it was interesting to talk to them because that we've finally got something to work with out of Sonos, right, Seth? I mean, how are you feeling about the company? I know you've been kind of on the fence and not sure. I don't know if you even stopped by the booth this year.
I walked through it. I'm really not a fan of what they've done with their API. I think it's not going to serve our industry very well, and I really do think a lot of people are going to start looking elsewhere for a product that they can integrate with and use and sell, and two, a company that really wants to look like they want to work with them. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I say that having like $1,600 worth of Sonos equipment in my house, that's not going away. But this favorites only integration that they announced at CEDIA is just a joke. And we were looking for a real API. You want a real API? Walk over to the Nuvo booth, see what they're doing. Walk over to Denon Hios, see what they're doing. Those companies came out of nowhere. Well, not really out of nowhere. Nuvo's been around, Denon's been around, but they came out with a product that has an API that does what we're looking for it to do. And Sonos is just dragging their feet.
Half-hearted.
There's no excuse for them to have done such a basic integration with what is arguably one of the best and most advanced audio systems on the planet right now. It's
right.
just a joke.
Right. Well, no, you make some valid points. I did have a chance to stop by and chat with them. So let's jump into the sound clip. We'll come back and close it out with some thoughts, and then we'll wrap up the episode here.
I'm joined by Dane from Sonos. Dane, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you having a good show?
We're having a great show.
Awesome. Well, the booth looks very busy.
Thanks.
To no one's surprise. And Sonos has been a mainstay here at CEDIA for years, but I do feel like some things have changed now with the new API. I'd love to hear you talk about how you think that's a big deal here for the CEDIA channel.
Yeah, for sure. And we've long been about filling every home with music. And more recently, we've been talking about being the sound platform for the connected home. And the only way to do that is to work with our partners. And we have such a great lineup of partners. So most recently, we announced voice control with Alexa is coming to Sonos. So you'll be able to control Sonos speakers throughout your home with your voice. We also announced direct control with Spotify, so you can control Sonos speakers throughout the home directly from your Spotify app, which is really cool. So it's just really making it as easy as possible for people to listen to music out loud at home, which leads us to what we're really talking about and showing here at CEDIA, which is the direct integrations with really the leaders in this space. So Crestron, Lutron, Savant, Control4, iPort. And what you'll find is the Sonos experience seamlessly integrated with with the panels, with the remote control. So it's really all about making it as simple as the touch of a button to be listening to music out loud.
So I like that, the idea of kind of becoming a platform.
Absolutely.
Really, and we love it. It's a great solution, and we love having those extra integration options really to add some extra value there. So you mentioned the Amazon Echo integration. I noticed that you're not showing that here on the floor. What's the latest with that?
Yeah, no, so just a couple weeks ago, we announced a long-term strategic collaboration with Amazon. I'm really excited to be bringing that to a private beta this year, and then we'll be launching publicly in 2017 for the broader group of customers and owners to access that. What's really great about that, though, is that while this is just a first milestone, we're able to bring this to people without having to buy new hardware. So if you have an Echo, an Echo Dot, any Alexa-enabled device, you'll be able to set it up and control your Sonos speakers out loud with just the software.
Awesome. We love it. Well, the booth looks great, and I hope you have a great rest of your show.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Well, I'm glad I got my rant out of the way early, because the other stuff is actually genuinely cool. Like I really am excited about the Amazon integration coming next year.
I think that's cool.
I don't think Sonos is going to be the only one, right? I mean, there's just going to be plenty of other companies.
Of course not. I think that as far as the API goes, I think you make some valid points. It's very limited right now, but at least it's something, in my opinion. And I think that the thing that you're either excited about or resigned to, either way, the fact of the matter is Sonos is a hugely successful brand and something that clients are asking for by name. And a lot of clients already have existing Sonos products. And so trying to get them outside of that ecosystem for, maybe some extra integration capability may, in some situations, be a value add for them and something they'll be receptive to. But in a lot of other situations, you might have a prospective client that's just married to Sonos as a brand. They've used it before and they love it. And in those situations, it's really nice to at least be able to have something that we can work with now. And we can only hope that Sonos will continue to develop that API and give us some more advanced integrations in the future.
Yep, absolutely. One quick news I saw go by today was that Sonos was going to be in the Apple Store. So if you're at the mall,
I saw that.
Yeah, so this is big news for them, and certainly another outlet just to pick up some more Sonos equipment if you need it. I wonder if they're going to have the subwoofers there. I kind of need to go pick one up.
There you go. Check it out and let us know. But clearly a big win for Sonos there, and clearly a company that's going to be around for the long haul. And so was glad I got a chance to stop by and chat with them. Thought that would be a fitting sound clip to end our CEDIA coverage on here. Seth, I had a great time out there, seeing you in Dallas again. We don't get together in person very often, so it was fun to get together and have some help dividing the show floor and conquering this year, and really enjoyed putting this episode together.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you can tell I like to talk to people, so that's why my interviews went a little bit longer than yours. I need to work on that for next year, so sorry about that. But
no, it's all good.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun, so looking forward to doing this next year. I'm glad CEDIA is wrapped up. And looking forward to seeing what starts coming out towards the end of the year. CES will be kind of the next big thing to take a look at and see what comes out. Oh, and Mike Wolf is having the Smart Kitchen Summit come up, I believe, in October. I have to look at that, but that'll be really cool to see what comes out of that show too.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. We haven't mentioned in a while that the Home Tech Podcast is a proud member of the Technology.fm family of podcasts. and that is a curated collection of technology podcasts that Mike Wolf put together. And so if you're a fan of our show and you've never checked out that website, head over to technology.fm. Surely you're going to find a couple of other shows over there that you'd be into, including Home On with Richard Gunther, which is another great smart home show that you can check out. So just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, had a great time putting this episode together. One last reminder that if you enjoy the Home Tech Podcast, you're a fan of the show, a couple things you can do to help out. Tell a friend, the old-fashioned way of spreading that word, and help support our efforts, help us pay the bills, and keep the show moving. You can head over to HomeTech.fm/support, where you can learn about becoming a patron of the show, which is something you can do for as little as $1 a month.
Absolutely. And anything you can do really does help us keep moving the show along and forward, kind of pays a couple of the bills. And if you can't do that, you can shoot us some feedback, or also go on iTunes and drop a rating there. That really does help other people find this show. Good, bad, doesn't matter. See, I'm not sure how it works, but that's how people find the show, is on the iTunes
magic.
store. Yep, magic, exactly.
All right, Seth. Well, enjoyed covering CEDIA with you this year, and I look forward. I'm sure CEDIA 2017 will be here before you know it, so I look forward to seeing you out in San Diego next year to do this all over again.
Yep, this sounds fun to me.
All right. Well, I look forward to chatting with you next week. Have a good one, and we'll talk then.
All right, talk to you later.